The long-running mystery of the Oak Island curse continues to unfold in fascinating ways as Season 13 approaches Episode 22, titled Road Trip. Based on the official synopsis and preview clips, this episode looks set to push the story in a meaningful new direction, blending the show's signature on-site discoveries with a potentially game-changing expansion beyond Oak Island itself. At the center of this episode are three major storylines: the mysterious swamp road, renewed activity in the money pit, and a striking suggestion that the real answers may lie more than 2,000 miles away. Together, these elements hint at a possible turning point in the investigation, one that could reshape both the geographical scope and historical understanding of the Oak Island mystery. For years, the swamp has been a hotspot for speculation. The discovery of a constructed sand and stone road beneath it has fueled theories ranging from buried ships to hidden transport systems used by early settlers or treasure depositors. Episode 22 appears ready to take this investigation a step further in a crucial way, by attempting to date the structure. In the preview, a team member stresses the importance of finding something that can be dated precisely. This is more significant than it might seem. One of the biggest challenges in the Oak Island investigation has been establishing clear timelines. While many artifacts and features have been uncovered, tying them to exact historical periods has often been difficult. If the team manages to find datable material within or beneath the swamp road, such as organic remains, tool marks, or associated artifacts, it could provide a solid timeline for when the structure was built. This could help answer key questions. Was the road constructed before or after the money pit activity? Does it match known periods of European exploration like the 1400s or 1500s? Or could it point to an even earlier human presence? The mention of a possible human presence in the 1400s is especially striking. If proven, it would push Oak Island's timeline back further than most accepted theories of European settlement in the region. Such a discovery wouldn't just reshape Oak Island theories. It could also contribute to larger historical discussions about early transatlantic contact. Another intriguing moment in the preview takes place at Lot 8, where team members react with excitement to something hidden beneath the surface. Comments like, "What's under there?" and "I want to see what's underneath here," highlight a familiar pattern in the series: small surface clues leading to major underground discoveries. What makes this moment even more compelling is the mention that the highest silver and gold readings appear in that area. This suggests the team is relying on advanced detection methods, such as soil sampling or geochemical analysis, to guide their excavation. This marks a shift toward more data-driven exploration, rather than relying purely on historical theories or guesswork. Elevated concentrations of precious metals in the soil can indicate past human activity, such as treasure handling, smelting, or burial. While such readings don't guarantee treasure, they often point to locations where valuable materials once existed, or may still be hidden. The discovery of something solid beneath the surface could point to structural remains, containers, or stone features linked to concealment efforts. The team's excitement suggests that this find at Lot 8 could be more than just another small clue. It might be an important piece connecting surface evidence to deeper structures. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this episode is the suggestion that a discovery in the money pit indicates the real answers may lie over 2,000 miles away. This marks a dramatic shift in the narrative. Until now, most of the investigation has been focused directly on Oak Island, digging, drilling, and analyzing within its boundaries. This new development hints that the key to solving the mystery may not be buried on the island at all, but located somewhere else. There are several possible explanations. It could point to historical records, maps, or archives in distant locations, perhaps in Europe or the Caribbean, that provide context for what happened on Oak Island. It might also suggest connections to historical groups, such as medieval orders or early explorers, whose activities spanned continents. Another possibility is that artifacts found in the money pit could be traced back to distant origins, revealing trade routes or transport networks far beyond Nova Scotia. The episode title, Road Trip, reinforces this idea. It suggests that members of the team will travel to follow this new lead, expanding the investigation beyond excavation and into historical research on a global scale. The discussion of a possible human presence in the 1400s is one of the most significant revelations teased in this episode. If supported by evidence, it would challenge long-standing assumptions about when and by whom Oak Island was used. A confirmed presence from this period would place activity around, or even before, the time of Christopher Columbus, opening the door to theories of earlier transatlantic exploration. It could also lend weight to long-standing theories connecting Oak Island to medieval groups, especially if supported by artifacts or structures consistent with that era. Discovering clear evidence from this time period in Nova Scotia would be extremely rare and historically significant. What makes this episode especially compelling is how all these elements might come together. The Swamp Road could provide a reliable timeline, while the findings at Lot 8 could point to concentrated human activity involving valuable materials. Combined with clues from the Money Pit and the possibility of a distant connection, Episode 22 may bring the team closer than ever to understanding the true story behind Oak Island. The discovery in the Money Pit may point to connections beyond Oak Island, hinting at origins elsewhere. When viewed together, these clues suggest a broader, more connected story. One where Oak Island isn't an isolated mystery, but part of a larger web of historical events and movements. This reflects a growing shift in the series, moving away from the idea of a single buried treasure toward a more layered narrative involving multiple phases of activity, different groups of people, and links between distant locations. Following leads beyond the island shows how the investigation is evolving. After years of digging, the team seems more open to the idea that the answers may lie not just in what they find, but in the bigger picture. Understanding who was involved, why they came to Oak Island, and how it fits into a wider historical context. Traveling more than 2,000 miles to chase a clue isn't just a practical decision, it's a conceptual shift. It suggests the mystery may be rooted in global history rather than local legend. The physical evidence on the island might only tell part of the story, and solving the puzzle could require connecting information from across continents. Episode 22 of The Curse of Oak Island. Season 13 looks set to be a major turning point. By combining discoveries on the island with a bold expansion of the investigation, it opens the door to potentially game-changing insights. Whether it's dating the Swamp Road, investigating promising signs at Lot 8, or following a lead far beyond Nova Scotia, everything points to the mystery entering a new phase. For longtime viewers, this episode may signal a shift in focus, from searching for treasure to understanding history. Instead of digging deeper into the island alone, the team is starting to look outward, exploring the wider world where the real answers might lie. If the clues live up to expectations, Road Trip could mark the moment when the mystery begins to extend beyond the island itself, reaching across oceans and centuries. One of the most interesting aspects of this episode is how it highlights the show's evolution from a treasure hunt into a multidisciplinary investigation. Fields like archaeology, geology, chemistry, and historical research are now working together more closely than ever. This is especially clear in the scientific testing at Lot 8 and the effort to accurately date the Swamp Road. Bringing these disciplines together could be the key to moving beyond speculation and reaching solid conclusions. The swamp, once seen as one of the island's most puzzling areas, is starting to look less like a natural formation and more like something carefully designed. If the sand and stone road is proven to be man-made, it raises important questions. Who had the resources, skills, and motivation to build something like this in such a remote place? The answer could point to organized groups rather than individuals, supporting the idea that Oak Island was part of a coordinated effort rather than just a hidden treasure site. There's also the possibility that the road served as a transport route. If materials, whether treasure, tools, or building components, were moved across the swamp, then this road could have been a crucial piece of infrastructure. This would support the theory that Oak Island acted as a kind of staging area. In that scenario, the swamp may have been deliberately altered to hide activity, while still allowing controlled access through engineered pathways. The findings at Lot 8 seem to support this idea as well. Higher levels of silver and gold in the soil suggest that valuable materials were once handled or stored nearby, even if only temporarily. This opens up the possibility that Lot 8 wasn't the final destination for treasure, but more of a waypoint, a place where items were processed, sorted, or prepared for transport. If that's the case, it strengthens the idea of a complex operation involving multiple locations. There's also a human side to all of this. After more than a decade of searching, every new discovery brings both excitement and pressure. Clues like the ones hinted at in this episode can energize the team, but they also raise expectations. The idea that answers might be thousands of miles away introduces a new challenge, one that requires flexibility as much as persistence. The road trip aspect of the episode suggests the investigation is expanding in a meaningful way. By stepping away from the island, even briefly, the team may gain fresh perspectives that aren't obvious from their main dig sites. This approach mirrors real-world archaeology, where understanding a location often involves studying related sites within a broader cultural and historical framework. If the team does travel to a distant location, it will be interesting to see how they interpret what they find. Will it confirm existing theories or create new questions? In the past, similar journeys on the show have done both, offering exciting connections while also adding new layers to the mystery. The possibility of human activity on Oak Island in the 1400s continues to stand out as one of the most important clues. If confirmed, it could tie together the Swamp Road, the Money Pit, and the external leads into a single timeline. Placing activity in the 15th century would suggest that Oak Island was part of a much earlier wave of exploration than commonly believed. This naturally brings comparisons to early transatlantic ventures, including those linked to explorers like Christopher Columbus. While the show has explored such ideas before, this episode may provide stronger evidence to support or refine them. Even indirect clues, like shared materials, building methods, or symbols, could be significant. Another fascinating detail is how well some of these structures have held up over time. The survival of features like the Swamp Road suggests careful planning and skilled construction. It implies that whoever built them intended for them to last, or at least remain hidden and undisturbed for a very long time. This episode also highlights the growing connection between natural features and human-made structures on Oak Island. The swamp, once believed to be entirely natural, is now showing signs of intentional modification. In the same way, areas like Lot 8 demonstrate how human activity can leave behind subtle but traceable evidence in the environment. Recognizing this relationship is important. It helps the team separate random natural formations from features that were deliberately created, bringing them closer to understanding what was planned and what was simply coincidence. Rather than wrapping up the mystery, Episode 22 appears ready to deepen it even further. With new evidence, a broader geographic perspective, and hints of earlier historical timelines, the story becomes more layered and complex than ever. But that's exactly what has kept the Curse of Oak Island so engaging over the years. The idea that every discovery leads to even bigger questions. Please subscribe to the Timefold channel, and don't forget to like.